Hello, my name is Tracy Jansen, and this is my interpersonal communication project for HSER-508 with Dr. Rita Smith. Slide 2. I have my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology and Christian Counseling, and I'm currently working on my Master's in Human Services Executive Leadership through Liberty University Online. I'm 42 years old, have been married for 21 years, and have had the privilege to work alongside my husband for 22 years in student ministry. We have 4 beautiful children, 2 girls, 20 and 18, and 2 boys, 15 and 12. Somehow, we've managed to make it successfully through the baby, toddler, and elementary years, and we're currently in the midst of middle school, high school, and college. It's only by the grace of God that we're surviving. Honestly, it's been a privilege and a pleasure raising our children and being a part of the ministry. In addition to being a wife and mom and a student, I work 30 hours a week at the local YMCA, and I have my own jewelry business. I love the Lord with all my heart, and I can't imagine my life apart from Christ. Slide 3. Stewart states in our text that, in the most general sense, the terms communication and communicating label the continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning-making. Basically, meaning life revolves around conversations, and for that we must be purposeful, especially in listening. Slide 4. Stewart gives us 6 features of communication. Feature 1 is meaning, and Feature 1 states, humans live in worlds of meaning, and communication is the process of collaboratively making these meanings. Feature number 2 is choice. All communication involves choices, some of which we actively consider and some of which is automatic. Feature number 3 is culture. Now, culture and communication are intertwined. Ethnicity, gender, age, social class, sexual orientation, and other cultural features always affect communication and are affected by it. Feature number 4 is identities. Some of the most important meanings people collaboratively construct are identities. All communicating involves negotiating identities or selves. Feature number 5 is conversation. Conversation is the most influential communication events, and the implication here is that the most ordinary communication events are often the most significant. The final feature is nexting, and nexting is the most important single communication skill, which the implication for that is that whenever you face a communication challenge or problem, the most useful question you can ask yourself is, what can I help to happen next? Slide 5. My overarching goal in life is to be an effective counselor or life coach for women and to assist them into developing a stronger, more intimate relationship with Christ. My goal relies on me being an effective communicator. And so I need to figure out how I'm going to reach that. Well, being an effective communicator means that I'm an effective listener. It allows me to gain the trust of the women that I work with. In doing so, then I need to ask open-ended questions in order to enlarge the conversation and allow my clients to discover the best solutions through questions and encouragement. I also need to be able to share my own story whenever appropriate. I need to be seeking God on a daily basis and pursuing a more intimate relationship with Him. This perhaps is the most important, because I can't give what I don't have. So I need to be able to empty myself of me and fill myself with Christ so that it can overflow into the lives of those whom God puts in my path. Slide 6 is about the DISC profile, which I really enjoyed doing, and I enjoyed reading all of the results and getting to know each personality more than I had before. According to my DISC profile and our text, I'm an inspirational specialist. My love for others and desire to encourage people plays well into my role as a ministry leader. I'm motivated by interactive and sincere opportunities to help others. I also am above midline, which means I may desire to overachieve. I think it just confirms that I have way too many interests. On a serious note, I believe that my personality type is able to empathize with every other personality type. My interpersonal communication skills test indicates that I am extremely adept to interpreting other people's words and actions and seeing things from their perspective. I thought this was just women's intuition, but no, it's actually part of my personality. It's a gift from God to be able to connect with people on so many different levels and with so many different personalities, and for that I am thankful. Slide 7. I am a good listener. At least I think I am. But I also like to talk, and this can be a barrier in my communication circle because when I'm talking, I'm not listening. Multitasking. Another barrier. Multitasking is a lifestyle for me, and yet it is a barrier. It can diminish the importance of a particular task and render me inattentive to what really is important. When a person is multitasking, certain tasks may be done well, but some may be compromised and not receive one's full attention. So, some of the things that I want to avoid is not having healthy boundaries. Meaning I need to have healthy boundaries. Boundaries are necessary in every relationship. In marriage, as a parent, as a counselor, as a youth leader, and so on. The next thing I want to avoid is saying yes to too many activities. My plate is sometimes overflowing, and this causes stress for myself, for my family, and for the ministry. And so I need to be able to say no. Not having an accountability partner. I need to have an accountability partner for my time, for my activities, for my spiritual life. I need to have someone that I can go to and trust that will hold me accountability, that will hold me accountable for these things. Ritual listening. In my practical book review on Peterson's text, I stated that I struggle most with the ritual listening. I like to talk and give advice, and I don't always wait for the person to finish talking before I have formulated how I plan to respond. And so, one of the biggest things I need to avoid is ritual listening. Slide 8. What kind of action plan do I have? Well, first of all, I want to listen more attentively and focus on what the person is saying to me. To ask questions in order to clarify what was just said before I launch into offering my advice or sharing a similar story. Speaking of similar stories, sometimes I don't need to share that similar story. People don't want to always hear that you know what they're going through. They just want to know that you hear them and what they've went through. I also want to be able to use the talker-listener cards in order to create a more purposeful conversation. Burley Allen states, in my final slide, that although listening is one of the most demanding aspects of communication, it's also one of the most rewarding. When we listen better, we invite others to be a part of the conversation. We show them that what they say is important and that we value them as an individual. Once this happens, we can build trust and the ability to speak into someone's life in truth and love.